My wife died before I could say 5 words that might have healed the last hard season of our marriage. I was wrong. Forgive me. Please do not wait as long as I did. Yet pride can make one breath feel heavier than a lifetime, especially when you assume tomorrow belongs to you. I did love Maggie. That is important. My failure was not an empty heart. It was believing love could remain unspoken and still do all the work. We met in 1973 at a neighborhood hardware store. She corrected my terrible estimate for curtain brackets, then laughed when I pretended I had known all along. Maggie had a gentle laugh, but she was never timid. She could find the honest sentence in a crowded room and place it on the table without raising her voice. I admired that courage when it defended me. I resisted it when it challenged me. That contradiction followed us through nearly half a century together. We built an ordinary, beautiful life. 2 children, a stubborn little house, school concerts, leaking faucets, long drives, burnt dinners, good Christmas mornings, and difficult Tuesdays. People see a 49-year marriage and imagine uninterrupted wisdom. They do not see the thousands of small choices that either create safety or quietly remove it. Our dangerous choice was simple. When hurt, Maggie reached for conversation, and I reached for a case. I gathered facts. I prepared evidence. I tried to win. Winning gave me a few minutes of control. It cost us days of warmth. I confused being unchallenged with being respected and silence with peace. The argument that trapped us began in 2019. Maggie wanted to sell the house and move closer to our daughter Anna before stairs and distance made every visit harder. I heard a practical suggestion as an accusation. To me, selling meant admitting age, surrendering independence, and leaving the rooms where our children had grown. Maggie said, "A home is where we can still reach the people we love." I answered, "This conversation is finished." That sentence lasted 5 years. We continued living together. We paid bills, attended birthdays, and asked whether the car needed fuel. But one sealed room had formed inside our marriage. Pride rarely announces itself as pride. Mine sounded responsible. I called myself practical, steady, and protective. Underneath, I was frightened of change and ashamed to admit it. Maggie tried again in small ways. A brochure left near my coffee, a question during a drive, a suggestion that we visit apartments without making a decision. Each time I answered the question she had not asked. I defended money and square footage. She was asking whether her future mattered to me. Anna noticed. After one Sunday dinner, she said, "Dad, Mom is not asking you to erase your life. She is asking you to share the next part." I told Anna not to interfere. The words came quickly because truth had come close. That is another thing pride does. It attacks the messenger. A month before Maggie died, she asked me to walk with her after dinner. The sky was pale, and the street was almost empty. She said, "Tom, I can live in this house. I cannot keep living outside the conversation." I knew exactly what she meant. I felt the apology rise in my chest. I nearly said it. Then I asked for more time, as if time were stored somewhere with my name on it. She nodded. She did not punish me. She simply said, "Do not wait until the words have nowhere to go." I remember every syllable. 4 weeks later, she became seriously ill. At the hospital, I spoke about test times, phone chargers, and whether Anna had fed the dog. Practical details were my hiding place. The 5 words stood behind my teeth. I believed there would be a calmer hour, a private moment, a better opening. That evening, she slept. I kissed her forehead and went home. Before sunrise, the telephone rang. Maggie died before I returned. Grief arrived loudly, then settled into ordinary places. Her reading glasses, the sweater behind the door, one teacup I could not move for weeks. But the deepest pain was not that our marriage had conflict. Every honest marriage does. It was knowing I had understood the wound and refused the repair. I was wrong about the house. We did not need to move immediately, but Maggie deserved a decision made together, not a verdict delivered by me. I was wrong about strength. Strength is not refusing to bend. It is staying present when another person's truth makes you uncomfortable. I was wrong about love. Feeling love privately does not excuse withholding the words and actions that allow another person to feel loved publicly and safely. I had treated her patience as permission to remain unchanged, when it was actually an act of hope. I kept spending without replenishing, and I was wrong about time. A long marriage does not guarantee one more evening. History is not a contract with tomorrow. The first word, I, matters because an apology begins with ownership, not the weather, stress, age, money, or the other person's tone. Me was wrong matters because it releases the courtroom. It stops the endless trial where both people present evidence and nobody feels known. Forgive me matters because it makes a request without demanding an outcome. The other person may need time. Your responsibility is honesty, not control. A sincere apology is not a tool for ending discomfort. It is an offer to face what your behavior created, even if the answer is difficult. Maybe someone you love is alive, reachable, and tired of the same argument. If so, my story is not asking you to surrender your needs. It is asking you to separate your need from your pride. Boundaries protect dignity. Pride protects an image. Learn which one is speaking. Choose one unresolved conversation, not every wound at once. Write one sentence describing what you keep defending, and one sentence describing what it has cost. Mine would have been, I keep defending this house because change frightens me. It has cost Maggie the feeling that we are planning life together. Then begin gently. I have been thinking about what you said. I want to understand the part I have been avoiding. No speech, no performance. Listen until you can repeat their concern in words they recognize. Understanding is not agreement. It is proof that you were present. Do not follow your apology with but. Everything before that word will disappear. Explain later if explanation is needed. Own the injury first. Be specific. Say, I dismissed you when you tried to talk, not mistakes were made. Foggy language protects the person who caused the pain. Ask what repair would look like. It might be a weekly conversation, a change plan, counseling, a returned call, or simply consistent kindness. Then, do the repair long enough for trust to notice. One emotional evening cannot erase a pattern that took years to build. If the relationship is unsafe or abusive, reconciliation is not your duty. Seek appropriate support and protect yourself. An apology never requires accepting harm. If the person has died, as Maggie did, the words still need somewhere honest to go. Write them. Read them aloud. Let grief hear the truth. I wrote my 5 words on the first page. Then I wrote everything beneath them, the fear, the stubbornness, the love, and the moments I had minimized. The letter did not change the past. It changed the story I was telling about it. I stopped calling my silent strength. I also called Anna. I apologized for dismissing her and for making her watch the distance between her parents while pretending everything was fine. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, "Mom always knew you loved her. She just wanted to feel that you could hear her." That sentence hurt because it separated intention from impact. I had measured myself by what I felt. Maggie lived with what I expressed. Many relationships weaken inside that gap. One person says, "You should know." The other quietly thinks, "I should not have to guess." Close the gap with ordinary evidence. Look up when they speak. Put down the phone. Ask one more question. Touch their shoulder when words are difficult. Say appreciation before a funeral turns it into a speech. Name one thing they carried for the family. Thank them while they can answer. Create a 24-hour repair rule for small conflicts. You may pause to cool down, but schedule the return. Silence should have an ending time. Once a week, ask, "Is there anything between us that needs attention?" The question feels awkward only until avoidance becomes more painful. Use 3 sentences often. "Help me understand." "You matter more than winning." "I need a pause, and I will come back." Avoid the false apology. "I am sorry you felt that way." It places the problem inside their feelings instead of inside your behavior. Do not keep a private scoreboard. Marriage is not improved by proving you have suffered slightly more. Pain is information, not currency. Apologizing does not make you smaller. The strongest people I know can remain whole while admitting they were wrong. And forgiveness, when freely given, does not declare the wound imaginary. It says the wound will not control every room that follows. I cannot edit my final conversation with Maggie. I can only refuse to waste what it taught me and offer that lesson to you. You may not receive the response you hope for. The other person may be cautious, angry, or finished. Honesty is still cleaner than delayed regret. A repair attempt is not a guarantee of reconciliation. It is a decision to stop adding avoidable silence to an already difficult truth. If your relationship is still living, you possess something I would trade almost anything to have. The chance to speak before memory becomes your only listener. Tonight, choose the person. Put their name at the top of a page. Write what you were wrong about without mentioning what they did. Then write the cost. Not the cost to your pride, but the cost to trust, tenderness, time, and the future you were supposed to plan together. If you can speak safely, ask for 10 uninterrupted minutes. Say the 5 words, "Stop." Let the silence belong to both of you, not just your pride. "I was wrong. Forgive me." 5 words, no defense, no courtroom, no promise that everything becomes easy, just a door where a wall used to be. Maggie taught me that love is not proved by how long 2 people remain in the same house. It is proved by whether truth can enter the room. She also taught me that gentleness is not weakness. She kept inviting me back to the conversation without humiliating me. I wish I had honored that courage. Now, when fear tells me to delay an important call, I hear her warning. Do not wait until the words have nowhere to go. So I call. I listen longer. I apologize sooner. These small choices cannot return Maggie, but they keep my regret from becoming another person's inheritance. You do not need a perfect speech. You need one true sentence and the humility to remain present after saying it. Before this day ends, decide whether you will protect the relationship or protect the image of never being wrong. You cannot always protect both. My choice came too late for Maggie to hear. Yours may not. If someone came to mind while you listened, that may be your answer. Write one word in the comments. Today. Let it mean that today is when you stopped waiting and gave the word somewhere to go.